Hi, welcome to my channel where we question everything. Today's topic is why I disagree with Gonzales Lira. And the video I'm specifically referring to was published on the 25th of October or 24th of October. And it's called Why I Think This Is an American Plan. Now, what Gonzales is talking about firstly is that the whole matter of a dirty bomb, it was planned by the Americans, or it's a plan by the Americans to become involved in the Ukrainian-Russian conflict. Now, I will leave a link to the video and you can decide for yourself. I have just one question. Has Gozales Lira gone mad? Oh, sorry. Second question. Has he lost the plot? Because whatever he says makes no sense to me. Firstly, it goes on that the Americans were willing to blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. Yes, the assumption is that the Americans blew it up. Does anybody of us really know who blew it up? No. There are alternative actors that could have blown it up and had the motive and the means of doing it, which I have discussed in my previous videos. So, yes, I will give the Americans the chance that they have blown it 70% maybe, that they could have been it, but I wouldn't give them 100%. And basically what Gonzales is saying that the Americans are willing to sacrifice their own friends and allies in order to create a false flag operation and then become involved in a war. And it refers to the Gulf of Tonkin and, well, you can talk about Pearl Harbor as well and so forth. Now, yes, that would have been, you know, if we just I will quickly stop at the Nord Stream. The Nord Stream pipeline consists out of two pipelines, the Nord Stream 1 and the Nord Stream 2. Nord Stream 2 was not active. It wasn't used. Nord Stream 1, a little bit 25% of the capacity of gas was supplied and then it was stopped. So no gas was actually flowing through those pipes. So it was not a source of gas for Germany or for Europe at the stage that it was blown up. The refusal to this energy gas shortage, you can also attribute it was a self-inflicted gas shortage by Germany because they didn't want to send back the turbines for Nord Stream 1 and they didn't want to certify Nord Stream 2. So it's not that the gas was cut off. Before the gas was cut off, the Germans did it themselves. Yes, it is a backdoor. It left the Germans with an option. That should they run into gas problems, they could activate these, reverse their sanctions and their attitude towards the Russian gas, and they could have opened these and certified these pipelines and opened them, and then they would have resolved their problem. Yes, they could have done that. But the point is they weren't in that position in any case. Secondly, according to the latest statistics, the German gas reservoirs are 93% full. And according to the experts' position, that is enough for Europe to survive the winter if nothing strange or severe happens. But then always the question remains, what will happen in March, February, March next year? And those tanks are empty. But that is a problem for a later stage. I also mentioned in one of my previous videos that when I talked about the whole gas shortage, is that only 14% of the electricity in Germany is generated by gas turbines. The rest is coal, which is about 30%, and the renewables, which is about 46%. So yes, if they lose, say, 10% or 20% or 50% of their gas supplies, then that is of their generation capacity, that is half, 50% or 14%, that gives you 7%. So they will lose 70%, 7% of their electricity generation capability, which they might be able to import from other countries, like France with the nuclear reactors, if France gets their nuclear problems resolved. Again, only 30% of the heating, home heatings, is done by gas in Germany. Yes, there are some companies that are dependent on gas. I'm not denying that. That's also a problem, but it's not critical. But the assumption that Gonzales makes is that these pipes are not repairable. Yes, they are repairable. How long? I don't know. But not years. I think that if all the equipment was put in place and so on, maybe 2 to 3 months max, if the equipment is put into place. That means from the start to the end. Maybe even sooner. So it's not the door hasn't been closed permanently. It has just been locked for a while. Okay. So I just want to get this thing about Nord Stream out of the way. Then Gonzales goes to the 101 Airborne Division that's now been deployed in Romania. And he thinks that these troops are going to go and occupy Odessa. It seems to me he hasn't read the articles properly because, firstly, this is a rotational troop deployment. It replaces, I can't remember, so I'm on a correction, I think the 89th Infantry or whatever division of Americans. Those are going home, and these guys came in. So it's not additional troops, and there are usually troops built up in Poland as well. There are some exercises going on, some nuclear attack exercises. And if you wanted to make a conclusion, then how about the exercise build-up of troops in Poland and Belarus that is getting 9,000, the Russian 9,000, which again is unsure. Russian troops in order to prevent an attack from NATO into Belarus or Ukraine into Belarus. Why don't make a conclusion about that? Secondly, in any case, the Airborne Division is a light infantry. They are not heavily armed. They don't have a lot of tanks and all the other stuff. So these guys will now be flown over Moldova over Ukraine into Odessa once this dirty bomb has been deployed. Doesn't make sense to me. Then he talks about the dirty bomb, and he talks about the evacuation of Nikolaev, well, you know what I'm talking about, which is between Odessa and Kherson. Now, the general narrative is what we all expect is that the Russians will proceed. Once they start with the offensive, they will start and then occupy Nikolaev and then finally Odessa, because these areas are all pro-Russian citizens. And therefore, Gonzales believes that Nikolaev will be contaminated by the Ukrainians using a dirty bomb in order to deny them access to Odessa. Doesn't make sense. He says a data point. Nikolaev is being evacuated. I'm sorry, I've Googled today all the articles that I could find. Nobody's talking about evacuation of Nikolaev. They're all talking about Kherson, yes. Nobody about Nikolaev. Neither in Ukrainian news media, neither in Western newspaper, neither in any Russian. So I did find an evacuation of Nikolaev, but that was in March this year. So maybe Gonzales got his dates wrong. But there's no news. Maybe he has different sources that are newer. I couldn't find anything. So that's another point I don't understand. But the point here is that the Ukrainians are man enough. Well, he says that Ukrainians haven't compiled this narrative or this dirty bomb. The Americans have actually planted. And his theory is that it will deploy it in Nikolaev, and that will contaminate it and then maybe stop the offensive of Russia to that side, to the west, to Odessa. Well, there are ways around that. It's not the end of the world. You just go around the city. It's a huge area. And then Russia will be blamed for this incident, and there will be hoo-ha, and the whole West will be mobilized. And the 101st Airborne Division will fly from Romania to Odessa and then occupy Odessa. And he believes that, just to say, Turkey, Erdogan, has blocked the Bosporus Strait, so he doesn't allow any military vessels to go through that strait. But he believes that America will do enough arm twisting for Turkey to allow the naval fleet of the Ukraine from NATO and America to enter the Black Sea. No. Firstly, the relationship between Turkey and Russia is very, very good. And the relationship between Turkey and America is not that good. And Turkey and Erdogan is moving to the south countries, the new multipolar world, together with Saudi Arabia. So I'm not sure where Gonzales get that analysis from. Then there are rumors, I remember rumors, I haven't seen the articles, is that Erdogan is allowing some Russian submarines to go through the Bosporus Strait in order to protect the South Stream pipeline after the sabotage of the Nord Stream. So some of the submarines, the Russian submarines, are returning home. Now, even that would be, firstly, Turkey allowed that, if it's true. And secondly, there will be more submarines present when the so-called US Navy enters that region. And then what they're going to do, they're going to pass the Russian fleet and ignore them, and then drive straight to Odessa and then be blown up by the Ukrainian mines that are still floating around. How does that work? And then you have what do they call it? A breach or a breach on Odessa, and then you can offload all your arms. What arms? What manpower? By that time, NATO and America will be in a full-blown war with Russia. And Russia, 500 kilometers away, is their, or whatever, is their border. Actually, no, less, because they have to deal with republics. A lot of tanks and armor and munition is already gathered there. It's like the Russians are ready for war, and where's NATO? How long is it going to take them to bring all their tanks and all their manpower to Europe, bring them to the front, and then engage Russia? As far as I remember, it took them 6 months to prepare for the Second Gulf War. 6 months. Does anybody really believe that the Russians will allow any troop build-up and wait patiently for 6 months? No way. I'm sorry. I have to state that Gonzales lost it. He's either getting panicky, or because at the end of the video he was letting me agitated, so maybe the fear factor is getting to him. But firstly, sending the 101 Airborne Division to Odessa is an act of war. That's it. Third World War III would have started. Then he also said that the Russians will shoot down this aircraft. Yes, they will shoot it down. No problem. I'm not totally sure what he's talking about. Really. And then what did he say? Oh yeah, yeah, that's about it. Anyways, other stuff is not worth talking about. So that's my story for today. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm asking very nicely. Share the link to your friends and so on. Let's get more subscribers so that we can improve the channel. We can have some live streams, some live action going. And maybe we can invite Gonzales onto a show and then, hey, and we can have a dynamic argument. Would be nice. So until next time, cheers.